All right, we're live. What's going on, everyone? Antonio here. And today we have an awesome story from my friend, Mark. Mark, you want to say what's up to everyone?
What's up, everybody? It's Mark. How you doing? I got a good story for you today. I think we can learn a couple of lessons, and I think there'll be some stuff in there that you'll find very useful.
Yeah, so right away, let's just get right into the story. So, Mark, go ahead and
All right, so
paint
basically,
for
go
us.
ahead.
I said, just paint the picture for us.
I'm going to go back about 10 years. I'm going to share a story with a job situation. It was the loss of a job, and I was in a difficult stretch. And the point is, how did I get through it? And what lessons can I share with you that may help you through your difficulties as you face whatever it is challenging you in life? So it was 2007 or so. I joined a firm that you've all heard of called Lehman Brothers. It was a great job. I actually liked working there quite a bit. I got paid quite a good salary. However, less than a year into it, as you know, the firm is eviscerated, gone, disappears right underneath me through no fault of my own. At the time this happens, my wife is home with my 1-month-old child and my 1-year-old child. So there's this enormous pressure. There's this feeling of loss, and there's this feeling of what do I need to do? Because we've all been there. You've faced situations in your life where you just don't know what to do, and it's not the way you intended on it going, and it's upsetting. It's heartbreaking. It's that feeling of loss. What do I do?
Mhm.
So I came to the conclusion, whether I liked it or not, I'm in this situation, which is point number one: accept it. You need to accept whatever it is at face value. You just accept it, and that I think it's Tony Robbins who said you don't accept it worse than it is. You do it as it is, something to that effect. But the point is, you look it right in the face and you say, okay, I lost my job. Through no fault of my own, the firm is gone. What do you do? Number two, no blame, right? It didn't matter whose fault it was. It didn't matter if it was the CEO or if they were doing things they shouldn't have been doing off the books. I should have picked a different company. There's a million reasons. The point is, blame doesn't have any place, either external or internal. A lot of times you'll find that when you're in a difficult situation, you blame yourself. That doesn't help any either. So what you need to do is move forward, obviously.
Mhm.
And that starts with belief. You need to believe. You need to believe it's going to be better. You need to believe that this is happening for a reason that you'll understand later. Me personally, I like to go the religion route, the God thing. You don't have to. It doesn't matter. I'm not preaching, but you just have to have faith in yourself or in something larger that this is taking you down a road for a reason. And the way you do that is you start with point number 4, routine. You need to get yourself into a routine to start to climb out of this hole that you're in through no fault of your own.
Mhm.
For me, in my case, at the time, it was fitness, working out in the gym, being very regular on what I was doing for job hunting tasks.
So
Get up in the morning.
what did you do specifically? Like, I think people could benefit from hearing about what specifically you did, like as part of your routine, in order to get your faith back up, and how to, the things that you did to build the good habits in order to get back on your feet.
It's a good question. There's comfort in routine, Antonio, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
What I did myself personally was made sure I woke up at the same time every day, and this is over a period of months.
Which was what time?
For me, it was 6 a.m., which was
Okay.
actually later than I had to get up for work, but it
Mhm.
was way earlier than I needed to. I'm not getting to anything. And in
Mhm.
fact, for that 1 week, for the first week after Lehman went out of business, I went to work. There was no paycheck coming. Showed up in a suit and tie and went to the office just to make phone calls. I mean, we're job hunting, we're networking, but the point was it was routine. Number two, besides getting up at the same time, you shower, you shave, you look the part. You go through your morning routine of making the phone calls. In this case today, it would be getting on social. It would be reaching out to the people that may be able to put you in touch with someone who may be able to help you. There's steps. You want to just flip a switch and be there. It doesn't work that way. So routine. A third thing was always making sure to wrap up at the end of the day with a recap for myself. What did I accomplish today? What didn't I do? What's my morning looking like? Your day tomorrow always starts the night before.
Mhm.
And it's never more important than when you're facing a challenge. Because again, it's back to that comfort of routine.
Mhm.
Which takes me to the fifth point: begin. You can prep all you want. You've got to do stuff. You've got to get out and do. And it's difficult. In my case, for job hunting, it was meeting people. It was going into New York City, which for me is about an hour's commute. It was going out and just finding out, is there any avenue that I haven't left untouched? I need to turn over all the rocks. In your case, whatever challenges are facing you, you know what you need to do. Everybody knows what they should be doing. It's
Yeah.
just so easy to wallow, right? It's so easy to sit there and just poor me, or I'll get to it. I've got all the time in the world. I don't have a job. I can
And
do
to your
that
last
later.
point, and to your last point, it's so easy to get stuck in the routine that you have. Like even though that was the last step that helps you, if your routine is complacent and it's not something that pushes you to do things like take that next step, then you're not going to go ahead and do them. Like
Great
you know
point.
this from our mastermind calls, but like one thing that I'm struggling with is like actually having a real product for people to use other than my book. And it's taking me out of my comfort zone to spend time to work on it. But you know, I know it's that thing I need to do, but it's not part of my routine.
And part of the challenge then, Antonio, and I'm in the same boat, is pushing yourself to take steps when you don't actually need to. It's an artificially imposed deadline.
Yeah.
And in our particular case, you were very good about organizing that thing more formal. But the truth is, yeah, it's so easy to just push it off and say, I'll get to that.
Yeah.
It's easier not to than it always is to. But the people who win are the ones who can take those steps. And you know this better than I do.
Yeah. You definitely need to take the steps. You got to begin, as Mark said, step number 5.
As you're taking those steps and you're beginning and you're doing what you should be doing, you wear down, right? You feel the pressure, and you feel like you're making progress but getting nowhere. So you're really not making progress. And then you feel you're spinning your wheels. How do you combat that? And that takes us to point number 6, which is gratitude. Gratitude is basically easy to say, but when you're in the dark spells, it's difficult. You need to go. In my case, I came home. I have a 1-year-old, a 1-month-old. They're both healthy. They're beautiful children. I love my wife. It's a difficult stretch for the family, no doubt, but guess what? I got a lot of things to be grateful for. I have my health. I have the ability to go work. I have the ability to go network. People don't have the opportunity you have, no matter where you are or what you're doing or where you live, no matter any of that. Somebody somewhere would give an arm to be you right now, no matter what. There's someone who's always worse off than you. And so this brings us to the next step, number 7, a positivity program. In addition to the gratitude, which is a nightly list that you make, in my case, it was family oriented, you need to put yourself on a positivity diet, right? This sounds real fluff, but it's not. Everything that goes in your eyes, everything that goes in your ears, you need to make sure you're feeding your mind, because this, in the end of the day, any challenge, overcoming anything, it's a mindset game, right? It's not these things, it's this. And so what do you do with that? You need to feed it the appropriate food. YouTube videos, Antonio, you could probably speak for days on this. Your channel alone is a great resource for that.
Yeah, I mean, when I was going through my job search, when I was jobless, and you know, like my friends are telling me that I was setting my bar too high for what I wanted in a job, and you know, my parents didn't necessarily believe that like I was doing the right thing when it came to a job, like that I should just accept whatever one I wanted, or whichever one came my way. Like I had to stay positive by listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks, listening to YouTube videos like Patrick Bet-David, John Sonmez, Gary Vee, all these people like they kind of became this like digital family of mine where like I woke up and I listened to them and I went to bed listening to them, and no one could get through because I fought back with so much positivity in my own head that by the time someone tried to say something negative to me, it like just reflected back off because it was like, nope, that doesn't check out in my head. So it doesn't like, it's not going to
part of the program.
Yeah, exactly. It's not, it didn't sync up with my positivity program that I had built in with affirmations and visualizations. Yet so many things you can do to keep yourself positive in an area where a lot of times it may seem negative.
And Antonio, I'm going to guess, like me, after a while, you study these folks so tightly and you know them and you start to feel like how they think and you kind of understand it and you start to understand what they would say were they in your circumstance. So as your daily challenge pops up, you're thinking to yourself, what would Gary say? What would Tony say? What would you kind of think like that? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. You're 100% right. I would start acting like that person. Like the one that affected me the most probably was the John Sonmez guy. He runs a Bulldog Mindset channel.
Why did that affect you the most? What about
it? Because I could relate to him more because he came from a programmer. He used to be a programmer. He is into real estate investing. He he has this channel about self-help and programming, which is like the two things that I do. And he also used to be overweight and like afraid to talk to girls, and like those are all the same things that I used to have troubles with. So it's, for me, I related to him, and he became like this guy, like, I'm gonna work hard no matter what. I'm gonna post 2 to 3 videos a day, and I'm gonna prove to you all for 2 years that I'm gonna work my ass off and I'm gonna break free. And he did. And seeing that as an example coming from such a relatable experience to me was why I probably related to him the most and really enjoyed watching his videos.
One of my favorite lines, I think it's Gary, I can't remember, but it's if anyone has ever made it, then you can too. And that's where you look at a guy like John and you're like, yeah, I could do this.
Anyone can. We're all born with the same, I mean, you know, sometimes we're born with disabilities, and for the most part, I think almost everyone watching this video, if you have the ability to get on the internet, you have the ability to make your own impact.
But here's the distinction. The disability isn't what you're thinking. It's this. It's the people who come up in an environment that maybe beat them down, or they didn't think themselves able, and they've been told that repeatedly, usually by close family or friends, which is why you have the circle, and you know this, the circle you put yourself in matters. Environment, seeds go into soil. That soil matters.
Yeah, 100%, because they're not going to grow if they're in bad soil.
So that's the positivity program. But then you have to go one step further. I found when I was going through this difficult period, what helped me, not just the positivity, because that sounds great. And yeah, it's fun to go do that. But then you need to put that into action. And that means helping others. You need to reach down and pull someone else up. It doesn't matter who. You mean you'll get nothing from it, most likely, and you probably won't even know these people. You may never see them again, but you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. In my particular case, I'd been out of school, I don't know, 10 years or so, and I'd been working on Wall Street for a bit. I had enough to share with some of the guys coming out of my old school. I don't know these kids, so I start meeting them for cups of coffee. And then next thing you know, I've got people I don't know and didn't go to school, the same school as I went.
Like, get referrals from those people that you had originally talked to?
Yeah, I mean, if someone's willing to share some information about Wall Street or working or in a corporate career or had a job hunt, you get phone calls from people. Yeah. And again, I'm not charging for this. This isn't no, it's just, and by the way, I've got all the free time in the world because guess what? Again, I'm not working.
Yeah.
So, but I did find that when you start to help people out and these kids call you back a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, they've gotten avenues open because of stuff you said or some way you might have helped them. You feel good about yourself. Yeah. You feel like it's not wasted time. And by the way, that will come back around. You know, years later, I'm good friends with a lot of those guys. There's people I ran into in a line in a parking lot, chit-chatting that led to friendships that led to this thing between you and I right now.
Yeah, it's 100%.
You know, the serendipity of life. But helping others is step number 8. And I honestly think it's probably the most important because once you've done that, you can't help but look at yourself differently when someone else looks at you that way. And this is, again, it's about the mindset. It's about overcoming your problems, overcoming the challenge is about changing what you're thinking inside. And other people can help you do that, but you have to help them first. And again, this isn't like a game where I'm doing this so I get. It's that you legitimately help someone, you feel something inside. And I know you all know this.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be on like such an intimate level like you did, although that's how you have as like a way bigger of an impact. But like, you know this working in New York. I mean, living in New York, people are pretty rude like everywhere you go. So in the morning when I get to work, I try to just hold the door for whoever's behind me. And like the people are like shocked and like, wow, thank you. Like someone actually held the door for me, rather than like they tried to sneak through the door and just get in time because they're like late for work. People are always in a rush. If you just act slightly different.
Yeah, it's fun. So I'll tell you a story. I don't know if you can hear me now. We get a little break in the connection here, but this is kind of, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
This is kind of unscripted, but the people, I park in the local parking lot when I go to the train station right now, and I buy those guys a cup of coffee that work the gate, meaning when you leave, you pay your $7, whatever it is, and they let you out.
Yeah.
I bring these guys coffee and donuts for the hay of it, and they let me go for free, and I haven't paid for parking for years. And it's not about the $7 because it costs me money to buy them donuts and coffee. Probably cost me $5 to $7. The point is, it's being nice to people, and it opens up doors down the road. And even if it doesn't, it changes you. I
Yeah.
think that's something people don't give thought to. So helping others. And by the way, helping these kids, meeting them for cups of coffee in New York right now, I still do that. That's been going on for 10 years.
I mean,
And
that's basically how we met, right?
you're right, actually.
Yeah.
Funny enough, though, a lot of these kids, they'll come to me for job advice. I post weekly on LinkedIn. It's business stuff.
Mhm.
It's trading, sales, etc. But the point is, people will come to me because they want a job in that field, whatever it may be. In my case, it's finance. Ends up opening up into conversations about real estate, conversations about there's guys that have offered me positions from their uncle who works for the Dow Jones in London, like these connections that I'm not interested in and wasn't looking for, but it's just kind of interesting how stuff connects.
Mhm.
Do that by helping others. Everything you'll ever have in life, everything you'll get through someone else. And people don't realize that. Any great success, you already know this, Antonio. You go ask them and they will tell you somebody did it for them. And so you start doing that now for others. Next thing you know, you're in a better spot. Now, the final point, this isn't really, I wasn't going to go there, but I'll just end it with this. Nothing's forever. Not the good, not the bad. But
Mhm.
especially you got to remember not the bad when you're in it because it feels like it's forever. Earlier, when we were back on point number 4 with routine, I can do that later. I don't need to rush out and do that right now. I got all the time in the world. But the truth is, you don't. Not because you're going to die and all that philosophical stuff. It's because this little window of time you're in, it'll end. If you knew for a fact, I'm going to be out of work for 6 months, but come March, I'm going to be back in a job somewhere, you'd think of it differently. But that is the truth. You're not going to be unemployed for 50 years.
Yeah.
These-
You'll find a way around it. Otherwise, otherwise you'll just probably end up dying at some point, right?
And we're talking about employment because that was my story. But the truth is, anything. You're not going to be whatever that challenge is, whatever staring you in the face and is beating you down. That's not going to be forever unless you accept that it will be. And
Yeah.
that's, again, back to point number 3, believing. But the point is this: nothing is guaranteed. You control it. You always have the power. You have to believe you have the power. And once you know that, you can walk through the steps. Again, for me, it was accepting it. Don't blame anybody, including yourself. Have a routine. Begin. Be gratitude oriented. Have a positivity program as you're going through it, and help others. And that's it. Like I found at the time I was going through my thing, I didn't know any of those steps. You fumble into it. That's the way life is called.
Yeah.
But once you know that and you've got the pattern recognition kicks in. Once you say, hey, I've been through this before, or I've been through something like this. In your case, I want to learn how to be more social with women, or I want to lose weight, or I want to, whatever it is, I want to get a job. You start to realize, hey, I've done this before, or something like this. I can do that. I can do this now because of what I did then. And so it feeds itself.
Mm.
The whole thing is this, man. You know this. It's all about that's life. That's life.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to teach other people is that no matter what you are facing, you can't overcome it. Just you have to take some action. You got to do something about it. Because sitting back and letting it happen to you is not going to really do anything. But that last point of nothing is forever is like so unbelievably true. Whether it comes to like something small or something large. Like when I was first jobless I was jobless for 13 or 14 months. Like every day that went by felt like forever. It felt like I was like, to me, it was like, oh, like I might actually be like this forever. This might actually happen. But then I would like think to myself, like, there's no way. Like I'm doing all the right things. Eventually, those walls are gonna break down. You're gonna break through.
Yeah, it's
So
sports. Any hockey team, any football team, whatever you watch, I don't care. It's just keep doing the right thing, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. The battle's in the corner, and next thing you know, it turns your way.
exactly,
Yeah.
you'll make it eventually if you keep pushing through, no matter what you're facing. All right, I really like all these steps. I want to run through them real quick. Because first, you accept your situation, right? You got to make sure you accept it because you can't do anything about it if you're not willing to accept the facts.
Right.
So no matter how hard they may be, you've got to accept the facts. The second is make sure not to blame other things and just blame yourself, right? Did I get that right?
Kind of. Don't blame other things, but also don't blame yourself.
Oh, don't blame yourself. Okay.
Don't blame.
Okay, so take all the blame off.
Because it doesn't matter, right? I mean, you can blame whatever you want, but it is what it is.
At that point, it's just wasted negative energy.
Bingo.
Okay. 3 is believe. You got to start believing in yourself.
Yep.
4 is in order to build onto the belief, you got to build good habits in your routine.
Yep.
5 is to begin taking action. And in your case, that was going out and meeting new people and networking.
Yeah, that's how I get a job.
6 was gratitude, which is actually very funny that you bring this up because yesterday I did an Instagram live on this exact topic where I was not feeling good in the morning. I don't know why. I just had this like anxiety feeling. And I realized that Tony Robbins talks about it. That comes from progress. You get happiness from progress or from gratitude. So I realized that I wasn't making progress per se the past couple of days. So I felt like I was stuck and I couldn't do anything while I was at my job to make progress on here. So what I did was I took out my notebook and I literally just listed everything that I felt like I was grateful for in the moment. And that came to like small things to like, I woke up, things that, people wouldn't realize, like I was able to breathe that morning, or, more important things like my friends, my family, my girlfriend, like people that care about me. Like I have those people in my life and they're benefiting me. And then, so it's funny how you brought that up. I was like, did you watch my live yesterday?
I think it was Helen Keller who said, I was upset that I had no shoes until I met a man with no feet. Something like that.
It's all relative. It's all relative. And when you're in a situation like this and you see that you have no job, sometimes that's all you can see. But if you change what you're looking at to, I have a house, kids, family that care about me, I'm healthy, I'm young, like there's so many things to be grateful for. You just got to change where you're looking. It's that simple.
People don't realize gratitude's a weapon, Antonio. You can use that. That's a cannon, and
Yeah, but
they don't realize it.
it snapped me out of how I was feeling just like that. All I had to do was listen. It took 5 minutes and I was out.
Yep.
But that's something that people might be sad for like days and just sulk around like, I don't really know what's wrong type of thing. They didn't really figure it out for themselves. All right, next is the positivity program. So I feel like that's kind of bundled in a little bit with gratitude because like gratitude is very positive, and then positivity is like reinforcing it on top of it. It's like the step right afterwards.
I looked at it like, I agree with you 100%. I looked at it like gratitude is output, but positivity is input.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Gratitude is I'm exuding gratitude for whatever it is but I then also need to program my mind.
Oh yeah, because gratitude is like you're putting it out there. I'm very like I'm happy, excited for this. I'm glad I have this. But positivity is like you are this. You are good at this. You are like you need to keep telling yourself all these good things.
Gratitude is emanating positivity, but the program is absorbing positivity.
Okay. All right. I like that. Then the last step, quote unquote, last step was action and taking action and helping other people.
Bingo.
Because by giving, you shall receive. I think
you never feel more powerful than when you pull someone else up.
I think that's something in the Bible, right?
That's sounds very biblical.
Ask and you shall receive. But now I think it's more give and you shall receive. Give and ask and you shall receive, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think you always get by giving, right? And this touches, I think, intent matters here. You need to do it in the right intent. But when you help others, you legitimately help others, it comes back to you, always.
People want to give back to people that have been kind to them, but they can see through the BS that you toss their way if you're doing something just to get something back.
Right, exactly. I'm a big believer in karma. Yeah, I'm guessing you are too.
Yeah, to an extent. It's not like part of my core belief, but like I believe in doing good things to other people, not necessarily because I'll get good things back, but I just
practical
things. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. If I'm good to you, you're going to be good to me. This is the way life works.
Exactly. You understand. And then the last thing, nothing is forever, which is unbelievably true. Life is not forever.
No, that's unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I feel like people don't realize life is this. The long view can change your mood immediately. The long view. Everyone is always so in this myopic. I got to go to work on Monday, and that sucks. Like you get that everywhere. But if you start to realize that, guess what? Come one Monday, I'm not getting out of the bed. I'm going to be dead. Suddenly, that Monday's not so bad, and it's the whole thing. It's not just about work. It's about life. Like right now, you'll never be as young and as strong and as powerful as you are right now. I don't care what age you are. Right now, this is it for you. So tomorrow will be the same. You got to run with that. And that's the kind of thing when people start to think, oh, I wish this and I wish that. How many lottery winners are upset because they didn't win lotto last week? Right? I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. But
Uh-huh.
you take the long view, and now you realize it's a drop in the bucket. It's fine. You can do it on your own.
You can
Anyway, my point is long view. Nothing's forever.
remember that, all of you. All right. Well, I mean, this has been a lot of fun for me, at least.
Yeah, me too, man.
I didn't know this about your life. I've known you for a little bit, not too long. But anyways, guys, if you want to follow Marc, he's got a YouTube channel, but he's pretty big. He's more active on Instagram, I would say, right?
Yeah, Insta's my main thing. I'll get rolling on the other stuff, but Insta's where I am right now.
All right, I'm gonna leave your Instagram in the comments so people can check it out. It's at Marc Angelos NYC, right?
Yep, it's Marc with a C, Marc Angelos NYC. But listen, I don't even have a website, guys. I'm not selling anything. There's no money to be trading hands here. This is just about helping people.
Yeah. So if you're looking for some free help from Marc, Marc's a pretty inspiring guy. We're in the same mastermind group together. We bounce ideas off of each other all the time. So I think anyone can learn a lot from Marc. And
Antonio, I learned just as much from you, man. Your action taking is massively inspiring, and all what you've got going on here is so professional on the channel here. Thank you very much for having me. I really enjoyed this. It's really something else because a lot of people, they just complain. Then you meet a guy like yourself who's out there putting content out there and making a difference, and people are attracted to that. So thank you very much. I'm happy and proud to be part of it.
No problem. Well, I guess what I'm trying to do is I have this situation I want to get out of, and people are watching it live if I'll make it through or not. But I'm gonna make it through. I know that no matter what happens, I'll make it through.
Nothing's forever.
Nothing is forever, that's for sure.
Not even live streams.
Yeah, but that's also a good point because you got to keep working at it too. Like if you have something now, it's not going to last forever. You might need to keep working to keep that thing.
Hustle.
Like a relationship with a significant other. You're in a marriage for a significant amount of years, probably, right? You need to keep working to build the relationship. It's not going to stay the same if I have the relationship. It's over now. I don't need to do anything.
No, what got you here won't get you there in anything.
Exactly. You got to keep, I guess, quote unquote, innovating, doing new things, that type of stuff.
But that's the fun of life, the innovation part, right? That's what's fun.
Yeah, that's what keeps things interesting. Otherwise, if you kept having to do the same thing over and over and over and again for 50, 60, 70, 80 years, it would be pretty boring.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right.
Well, thank you, Antonio. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. I enjoyed having you on. Guys, make sure to go follow Marc on Instagram for some awesome motivational videos almost every morning, right? I don't want to get...
We're shooting every morning.
It's going to make you more accountable to have more videos now.
Yeah, so Antonio's been all over me for this, guys. He thinks I'm not consistent enough. Truth of the matter is, I really do bang him out in the mornings on the way to work into New York City. I'll do quite a bit of text and a small video, and it's just whatever's on my mind. But hopefully you'll find it helpful.
Usually something helpful. So check it out. Leave it in the comments below. Oops. All right, guys. I'll catch you all later. Remember that no matter what you are facing, it's not forever, and you can take some action on it.
Amen.
Guys, in the next one. See ya.
Cheers.